welcome to Airship Archaeology. My name is Sam Smith, and I probably sound like a crazy person right now. But after going around and like strangling people, it was very nice to be able to just take them out in a hardcore way.
Isaac. All of my adoring fans would just scream out for me.
Taylor. Awful. It just makes me want to cry, but laugh crying.
And then last and certainly least,
Travis, I feel like a douche.
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Airship Archaeology. My name is Sam Smith, and I have with me to my left,
Isaac.
and then all the way away from me,
Taylor.
and then last and certainly least,
Travis.
and Flappy Bird is a thing. Actually, not anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what exactly is the story about all that? I never really got into Flappy Bird, but I heard a lot about it.
From what I've heard, the developer got upset by all the negative comments it was receiving regarding how difficult it was, and decided his feelings were
You
hurt
didn't mention that.
and took it off the internet because he wanted people to stop criticizing him. Which seems ridiculous.
Because, well, I mean, the internet's generally like a safe haven for feelings and emotions, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other word for the internet is haven, actually.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? It was because the game was too hard that people were complaining?
That's what I've heard. This is
That's-
all very secondhand.
That seems
but
silly. How come no one never complained about
word
Tetris?
word on the street is.
Word on the street, okay.
Okay, about Tetris, though, isn't the creator of Tetris, it was created in the Soviet Union, if I recall correctly, and...
It's just the theme music, I think.
No, I think the game was as well. And the creator of Tetris has yet to receive any money from that, because the government was like, it's ours now. And Tetris is like one of the most reproduced and like remade games.
Yeah.
That guy would be so rich right now.
Yeah.
Is it public domain?
I don't think that applies in Russia.
Well, it's communist, so
Well, I mean, yeah, but
the game was split amongst all the
obviously
people.
initially it was.
You get a line piece!
Oh,
No, see, like, the guy who made the Nike swoosh only got like $36 when he developed it.
But I think I remember later, once it became super popular, Nike gave him stock options or something like that.
Yes.
So it's not as bad. But yeah.
It's not as bad, but think, like, we, in a biology class, actually, of all things, that we learned this, it's like if you had a penny for each swoosh ever produced, you'd be like one of the richest men on earth.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. You saying if he had a penny reminds me, one of my favorite subreddits to go on is on Reddit, if you've heard of that popular website, reddit.com, is a subreddit called Cringe. And the videos on there are so hard to watch, but make me laugh so hard. And the very top all-time post on that subreddit is one about a guy wishing his girlfriend a happy 7th month anniversary. And this guy looks about like 15.
Awful.
And one of the lines is if I had even an eighth of a penny for every time you were running through my mind, I'd be richer than all the people in the world combined into one.
Woof.
And like I realized what I've been missing from my game, because that's it.
Yeah. Octopennies. Wow. That one and the cringe pics.
Cringe pics, yeah.
Awful. It just makes me want to cry, but laugh crying. Stuff like that.
I love finding new subreddits though. They just are hilarious. Can take up so much time. I found one recently called montage parodies that I've actually been showing you guys a couple of these videos, and they're so it's like those guys who play video games and they try to do all of their like their snipe, like their no scope like parodies, how they normally have like all the dubstep and like the crazy or like reverb on the music and the like epilepsy lighting. It's that people do this for like the most ridiculous things. There was one about a woman teaching you how to flip a pancake. And it was normal. There was like some background music to it that was starting to build, but she was just talking and then she flips the pancake, and the second it goes up into the air, it just starts like reverberating, and it's great. I enjoy it. Like I have to be in the mood for that though, because it's one of those things that is really stupid. But I like stupid humor. You know, I'm not too high for lowbrow.
This is a brilliant subreddit, though.
Sure. Yeah. But see, that's the problem with knowing about Reddit is I can waste so much time on there if I'm not careful. There's just so many things in there that are like funny and interesting, and I feel like, what?
Funny and interesting, and not interesting, and videos
and other things, and you know, weed. I like weed. I mean, what?
I am probably my favorite subreddit is marijuana enthusiasts. I have learned so much from that subreddit. My arboretum has benefited greatly.
Another recent interest of mine has been crockpots, because I just got a crockpot.
Oh yeah.
And there's our slow cooking, which is all these things, and I kind of look at it, but then I also, you know, it just gives me ideas that I'll probably never do. But just recently, actually yesterday, I went to the store, got some chicken, got some salsa, and got some black beans. Threw all that together in a crock pot, put it on, forgot about it for about 15 minutes, came back and realized I still had about 6 hours left. And then in the 6 hours, I had a delicious bowl of salsa chicken, black bean stuff.
Nice.
Yes. And it's cheap, delicious, and good for me. As they say, nutritious.
As some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Others say good 5U.
Three good 5 me.
Speaking of good for you and weed, Isaac, why don't you tell us about your roommates at the moment?
Yes. So, at the moment, both of my roommates are high on various substances. One of them was on codeine, and others on some sort of painkiller cocktail.
Is this prescribed?
Yes.
Okay.
Both are prescribed, and it was kind of funny to me because when I got back from classes today, both of them were hanging out in our main room watching really dumb TV together, which is a thing that they had never ever done in the past. But they were just watching one of these like dumb criminal shows or something, and just finding it highly enjoyable. And when I left, I think they were watching SpongeBob. So they were having a grand old time.
Oh dear.
Hey, so who's up for some psychological analysis?
Travis.
Taylor is nominally a psych major,
Oh.
according to the school, and the topic of you defrauding the state government will wait for a later podcast. But
in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
When we post the first 10 verses.
Court.
But so last night I had a really strange dream, and I'm learning things about my brain. So in my dream, I was this sort of middling singer-songwriter guy, kind of in the style of a Mason Jennings or whatever. And so I wasn't having a whole lot of success. Mason Jennings, a singer-songwriter out of Minnesota.
Would you say he's middling?
No. But anyway, I was a singer-songwriter person. And so I was running out of good ideas for songs. And so I made like a parody song of this sort of genre where I just used all these generic cliches, and I think the song was called Crossroads or something.
Oh.
Just all this, just completely making fun of the whole sort of the indie guitar dude kind of industry. And so naturally, that became my chart-topping hit. And so all of my adoring fans, it was, you know, one of the top-selling singles on iTunes, and all of my adoring fans would just scream out for me to play it at every single concert. And so I had this internal conflict of, how can I go out there and play this song, which I wrote to be this completely ridiculous parody, while I'm parodying myself and performing that, and it was all very strange.
Oh, your number one problem is you dream too deeply.
Oh. Oops.
The second problem is probably sexual tension.
Oh.
So, that's my analysis.
I'd say it's one of those, you know, the Oedipal complex.
Obviously.
Yes.
There were all of the Oedipal elements there. Guitar has a neck. Neck kind of looks like a penis.
It sure does. Same thing. It's so funny though. It's like so un-you to have that kind of dream. Oh.
What's probably the weirdest dream that you've had? Can you think of any off the top of your head?
Not really. I mean, I know I've had weird dreams, but none are coming to mind.
Have you ever? Okay, here let's get a little deep.
Oh.
Have you ever woken up crying?
Once.
Once?
Yeah.
Do you care to share?
My family died.
Oh,
It's
okay.
that simple. Well,
Like,
specifically,
how?
it was my. I think it was my mom. I don't know how. I just literally.
That's Oedipus.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I remember walking out in my dream. Of course, I was walking out of the front door onto the stoop, and I remember just like having an internal conversation in the dream. So I get deep too sometimes. That said like, "Oh, your mom died," or like, "I had the feeling of my mom was dead," and I just remember waking up, just looking out into the street, and then woke up crying, or at least not like crying, but have realized I've cried. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling that I can. Dang.
What happened?
Can we just pause it? It's always such a weird feeling when that happens, just because there was one time when I woke up crying one time, and like it wasn't that like I had cried when I was sleeping, but like I woke up and I was bawling, and it was really weird just because I was sad because of what happened in the dream, and like it carried over into real life. And so what happened was, I had this friend in high school. His name was Joey, and he was moving away. He was gonna move to Texas. I'm from Virginia originally. I know Texas, right? Texas sucks.
Okay.
Hey, my best friend moved to Texas.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
I have a
remember what
loser
year.
friend who's from Texas. His name's Travis.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say, is that a mutual friend?
But yeah, he was gonna move, and so I feel like this might have played into it.
Mhm.
But in the dream, I was driving around, and it was like driving around not on the road, but it was like in someone's backyard. I don't really understand why, and I hit my friend in the car, and I kill him, which sucks because like I'm all this grief. I'm like, that's my really good friend. I just killed him. He's dead, and that was my fault. And I go through all this like it's obviously fast forward to time. Like I go through it like there's this funeral. It's really sad. Blah blah blah. And then I visit the place where I killed him, and his mom's there. And I still remember like in the dream she was like I was about to head off to college at this point in the dream, and this was maybe like freshman year of high school, so it was a little bit before then. She's like, "You have dreams, right?" He had dreams too. And yeah, I was, and I just woke up at that moment, and I was just like bawling, and I was actually like genuinely terrified that I just killed him, just because I
Oh
felt
my
so
gosh.
sad, like that he was dead, but he was fine. It's good. He's still alive, I think. I don't know. We kind of grew apart as people do, but oh well.
What a jerk mom.
I know, right?
Wow, that's one way to do it.
It's like it's always weird because I don't want to be bitter at someone because of what happened in a dream, but like it's just such bad interactions, and that's so unfair. But she was a jerk.
Have you ever wondered? You don't remember most of your dreams.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered, like, maybe you outwardly, or if it's possible to outwardly express feelings based off something you dreamed about but can't remember? A bit like that.
Oh.
Like if you did not remember that dream at all, but what if it kind of gave you emotion?
Oh, yeah. Like I just didn't like his mom from that point
Yeah,
on.
or just for like a moment, like the next time you heard her name or heard about her, you're like, you had that kind of gut reaction.
I've never thought about that before.
Neither have I until just now.
Wow.
Psych majors,
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine that for the subconscious, it's difficult for it to separate what it observed in the dream and what is happening in real life, and that's how you get all the stories of, the girlfriend dreams that you cheated on her and she gets mad at you in real life. It's because for some part of the brain, yes, for either gender, for some part of the brain, it just doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. Another thing I learned that I never kind of realized, I mean, it makes sense to me, but it's impossible to remember the first part of your dream. It kind of just turns into gray. You can think of like the first thing you remember, but you never remember the actual first part of your dream.
The most frustrating thing about all of that is, like, you wake up and you remember your dream without, like, you don't think about it. The few times you do, you remember your dream, and then it starts to fade and you try to remember it, but then the more you try to remember it, the more it just, like, disappears.
Yeah. And
it's really frustrating because some of my dreams I remember were amazing, like, just really cool, whether I did something cool or something happened, but I have no idea what I did and what happened. And I really wish I did, because my dreams are pretty entertaining sometimes.
This is like dynamic memory, or RAM, you might say.
Oh, jeez.
Brain is a computer.
Uh-huh. Travis, tell us about the times you dream and wake up crying.
I don't think I've ever woken up crying.
It was a rhetorical question,
Which-
Travis. Or
okay.
statement.
So that's the thing. Everyone was like, "You ever cry, Travis? You ever cry, Travis?" And I feel like a douche if I say no. But see, I was born with really small tear ducts. I had to get surgery when I was like 2 because they kept getting infected because I literally could not cry as a little kid.
Wait, is this a legitimate thing?
No, this is legitimate.
Oh man, the creation of Travis's body inside his mother was they added 2 little tear ducts and way too much ego.
But that's actually
Yeah.
like
So is that fixed now?
a big part of why I don't ever cry.
So you're
Is it-
fixed.
Sure,
I was
why
gonna
not?
make that joke.
Okay.
You can edit this out.
Nah.
You can say it now.
So you're fixed.
Your turn.
Unbelievable. So I did have a dream the other night that velociraptors got into the city of Seattle.
They got in as if they could in real life.
It
But we
was
keep them out.
No, it was
They
like
finally broke through our
it was
defenses.
weird because it was like sort of a Walking Dead atmosphere of like
Well, dinosaurs
the
would be dead.
with velociraptors out in the street instead of zombies, which is a lot scary because see, I feel like I could outrun 99% of zombies, 100% of Walking Dead zombies. Those things are slow. But a velociraptor? Are you kidding me? No.
You're done.
Yeah, game over. And they're smart too. We learned that from Jurassic Park.
Oh, yep.
So what happened in this dream of yours? Do you remember anything besides the fact that there were velociraptors in Seattle?
I remember crawling through an air duct and thinking, wow, like everyone's dead.
Does that include us?
There were some survivors. I don't remember any specific people from either survivors or people who were dead, but there were some survivors.
Now, if you had to recreate this, like, with your own thinking, who would you want to be alive right now?
I mean, if we're saying this is happening in Seattle, so, like, my family's not a part of this?
No.
Okay. Wait. No.
No. Your family's already dead. No.
Okay. I mean,
The velociraptor started in Tri-Cities and made their way to Seattle.
that's
Well,
unfortunate.
Hanford.
It's kind of like the Terminator. Like
How did
they were
cross
searching.
the
They were searching for
mountains?
you.
Can we go
Stop
back
being
to,
an engineer.
yeah, can we go back to the dream part
I
where
feel
things
like
just
a
happen?
cold-blooded reptile couldn't cross the Cascades at this time of year, but
Head dinosaurs.
Are you kidding me?
No, they killed. No, whatever. Just who's alive? Who's dead?
I don't know.
You
You
have the
gotta-
power,
They
Travis.
floated
These
down the
are
river. Travis.
velociraptors. You don't survive a velociraptor attack by skill of your own. You survive by being lucky or getting a good hiding spot or something.
Or
See,
tank.
It doesn't matter how physically fit you are. You can't take a velociraptor in a fight.
Here's the thing I always think about, like things like that with like dinosaurs attacking, or like Godzilla. There's gonna be a point where they're full, and they won't just keep attacking. So like, I mean, how many people? The velociraptors aren't that big. It's gonna take like what, one person, maybe two, to fill them up, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
then they're docile, at least like not as like ravenous, and then bam, dead.
Yeah, like in Jurassic Park, for example, the T-Rex takes the goat, and that's all it really needs for like a couple days, and it ends up eating like 5 people, and that's just.
I feel like I'd puke those guys back up.
Also, for the dinosaur purists in the audience, velociraptors were actually about 2 feet tall. The things that they based them off in Jurassic Park were some combination of Deinonychus and Utah raptor, which were closer to between 5 and 10 feet tall. Those would be the scary things. So I'm sure that's what you're imagining in your dream.
Yes.
Not the little.
So you were
dinosaurs you
wrong.
It was the animal from Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
the movie.
Exactly.
What were the little things in Jurassic Park then?
The baby.
Just for the sea.
Well, there were in Jurassic Park 2. I don't think they showed them in the first
No,
movie.
they didn't.
The
It was in the
wheeler
second
Yeah, it
one.
was
With the little girl on the beach.
Procompsognathus or
Great.
compies.
I
yeah.
call them dinosaurs.
They're like they're like rats essentially.
Can I admit something?
Yes.
I've never seen Jurassic Park in its entirety.
Oh.
Wow.
I know. I feel like I know it though, just because everyone talks about it. The plot's so well known,
Yeah.
but I've just never seen all of it.
It's a scary movie as a kid. That was one of that and Raiders of the Lost Ark were the two scary movies of my like under 10 years old.
Fantasia was a scary movie as a kid.
It was. That was creepy as heck. Do you know what's a scary movie as an adult though? Cube. If you have yet to see this, it's like a horror thriller movie. Look up the movie Cube, and then there's Cube 2 Hypercube, and then Cube 0, which is technically a prequel, but it's the third movie made. Highly recommend them if you have nothing better to do, and by nothing better I mean anything else. I love them, but they suck.
The saddest part about that is you've seen all three of those before you've seen Jurassic Park.
Well, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
Why haven't you?
Jurassic Park is on TV every single day, I'm pretty sure.
I don't get. We don't have cable. Dude, we have an antenna.
Okay. Ooh, they're making a fourth one.
Yeah, which is I'll be interested to see. I was really disappointed in how they did the second and the fact that they made a third movie. Like the second book is really great.
Yeah.
And they just completely just took off from that. Combined both of the two children. They had in the book there was a black boy and a white girl, and they combined them into the black girl in the movie.
No, they had a kid from the book.
That's not genetics.
That's nothing to do with the book.
Yeah.
I love all the references in pop culture to Jurassic Park. My favorite one of my favorite movies, Wayne's World 2, is when Wayne and Garth are going to check out the place where Wayne Stock is going to be. It's their music festival. And then it's raining, and they're checking the map, and all of a sudden the cup in the cup holder that wasn't there before, but it's there, for the purpose of the reference, starts, doing the little thing. And then it ripples, that's what it is. And then
Doing the thing.
they pull down the map, and then it's just Tyrannosaurus Rex eye there. It's my favorite. I love those two movies. I actually sincerely recommend Wayne's World 1 and Wayne's World 2. What's your favorite movie, Taylor?
That Thing You Do. I love that movie. It's Tom Hanks.
Oh, it's actually a movie.
He directed it. Yeah, it's actually a movie. It's about a group of guys in Erie, Pennsylvania. No, not Pennsylvania. Erie, Pennsylvania?
Sure.
Is that a place?
Maybe.
Yes, I think
Michigan?
it is. No,
not Michigan. I think it's Pennsylvania.
It is. It's Pennsylvania. Anyway, they write a one-hit wonder of a song. That's the band name is The Wonders, spelled O-N-E. Man, I'm just I can. This is one of the movies where I can say every single line, and I'm essentially saying lines now. But they get together and make it big, and they ended up in California, and then they kind of break apart, and it's sad. But I just like as a movie and like something that has a beginning, middle, and end. It works really well, and the actors are great. Tom Hanks is awesome. But yeah, that's been my favorite movie since I was really young.
Would you say that's the movie you've seen the most times?
No, I've seen Heavyweights probably a million times. That's
Oh.
that's another movie I can say every
Please
single
describe that movie for those in the audience that don't know what it
Everyone
is.
should know what Heavyweights is. It's
I don't.
about a kid from Long Island who.
Show me these movies.
I'm sorry, I only have them on VHS.
Yeah.
Back in Jurassic times. It's about a kid from Long Island who his parents send him away to fat camp. This is a Ben Stiller movie.
that
Yes.
movie. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen this.
Yeah, that's probably the movie I've seen the most. Well, it was one of like the very few movies that is at my grandparents' house, and every time I'd go there, I'd watch it once, twice, 3 times in a week, and I think it's funny too. Not my favorite though.
Favorite movie and one you've seen the most times. Can be the same one.
Oh man.
Or it
I
can't.
guess my go-to for favorite movie is probably just the Lord of the Rings series.
Okay,
Big
I'm glad I
fan.
said movies, not movies.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's one big movie, just cut into 3 pieces.
Okay, like The Hobbit.
Oh boy.
I think we had a sore spot.
I don't know. Some of the stuff he's doing with The Hobbit is really cool, but I'm really worried about just the pacing seems really off to me.
Have we all seen The Hobbit, the second one?
Yes.
Here?
The Desolation of
Smeagol.
Smeagol.
Smeagol, yeah. Okay, so if you haven't seen it yet and you want to see it, stop listening for like 30 seconds, I'd say. And okay, so if you've seen it, maybe you've read the books too. If you haven't read the book, right? If you haven't read the book, stop listening too. But like the only thing left,
Go read the book.
yeah.
Pause.
I
Read the
agree.
book.
Stop listening to us.
There's like they shoot him, Smaug, and then there's the battle, which Bilbo is knocked out for the majority of, and then it's like done. What's gonna happen in the third movie?
They might have this really epic elven scene where they go off into the west, and it takes about 9 hours.
I tell you though, Evangeline Lilly is Tario. I know she's a made-up character, but anything with Evangeline Lilly, I'm okay with.
Okay. Well, maybe they thought that one through.
Yeah.
Though the forced romance with her and the dwarf, I think is kind of dumb.
Forced. I mean, the dwarf is obviously gonna fall in love with her.
Well, yeah, but
you mean other
it
way?
still
Yeah.
seems dumb.
They needed something to take up time. That's probably gonna take up some time in the third movie.
Maybe like 3 hours.
Maybe.
Never know.
It just turns into a wedding.
Well, they've got all three of the major conflicts to resolve in the third one, but like all of the questing is done.
Yeah,
it's just all the conclusions need to
You
happen.
just have to grind.
Yeah, well,
I feel like they should have left some of the questing for the third one and then resolved at least one of the three major conflicts in the second one.
But I mean, think about it. Peter Jackson is one who draws things out like crazy,
Yeah.
and Tolkien is the complete opposite. He closes things off really good. Well, is my opinion.
Okay, so I'll give you that favorite series. That's really high up there. Lord of the Rings, amazing.
Indeed.
One you've seen the most though.
Oh boy,
Not necessarily out of those three. But
Yeah.
just
it's
movies.
gotta be one from when I was a kid. Probably one of the Star Wars. We had those on VHS and I watched them a lot.
There's worse things to have watched a lot.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You're talking 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6.
Worse, meaning 1, 2, and 3.
Uh,
Watch that guy again.
yeah, we do. Next time we have 3 hours to spare.
Seriously. Yeah.
Okay, so Isaac,
Oh,
same 2 questions.
okay. Favorite movie ever? I don't know. I don't know if I could narrow it down to one. I'm a big fan of the movie Gettysburg or Gettysburg. It has so many
You're changing.
fantastic actors in it.
Morgan
it's-
Freeman in that one?
No.
No.
Anyway, it has so many fantastic actors. It's adapted from a great book called The Killer Angels.
Because it's adapted from this historical event. Sorry.
It's taken from this book called The Killer Angels by Michael Shara, and the characters that it focuses on are great. And I've always been into history stuff, so that was great for me. Movie that I've watched the most, I mean, if we're going like all time, it's probably like The Lion King. But in terms of ones that I actually remember watching it, honestly, probably the movie Midway. I was a big fan of that for a long time, and we had that on VHS forever.
Midway referencing.
The Battle of Midway.
Yes. Just checking. Not everyone's a history buff. That's in World War II, for those of you that did not know. A turning point in the Pacific theater of the war.
Boats, stuff.
Boats and hoes.
Maybe to dig the trenches.
The videos, the movies that you talked about, Taylor, and the movies you talked about, I've not seen, so we should get on that.
Yeah.
I'd love to. We should have movie night. But for me, I'd say top movie, the one that I get something different out of every time I watch it in some way or another, is probably Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie. I've seen it probably a little over a dozen times. It's a fantastic movie. I love Morgan Freeman and the guy that didn't really do anything outside of the Shawshank Redemption, who's the main character, but he did a good job.
That often makes movies, I think, really memorable when some random actor comes in and plays a really great role.
Yeah. And movie I've seen the most times, without a doubt, I know off the top of my head, Wayne's World.
Yeah.
I used to watch that like middle school, like 7th, 8th grade, once a week. Like not even like there was probably 100 times in those 2 years. I loved that movie, and there was a point where I could say a line for line, no problem. And if I'm watching it too, I can get it most of the way.
Yeah,
it's just perfect 8th grade humor, you know. And
exactly.
I like to think that I kept a little bit of that with me too. So it always has a special place in my heart. But you're talking about series, an amazing series, which is the Lord of the Rings series, and you're talking about the Battle of Midway. Those two combine, little brain imagination going on. Go ahead. It made me think of one of my favorite mini series, which is Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Band of Brothers. I mean, I love history. I'm a history major, and so that's obviously going to appeal to me. But just like the acting in there, and the fact that it's based on true events, and it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't matter if this is the main character, because if the main character dies, it's like if the main character died in real life, he's going to die. So there's always that tense, like you have no idea what's going to happen. That series, I can watch that over and over again.
The guy who played Winters in particular, just blew me away. Incredible.
Yeah. And the fact that there was the one thing that caught me off guard is the first couple episodes, and he comes up later is what's his name, Ross from Friends. You guys ever watch Friends?
Oh yeah, I've seen some, and I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, David Schwimmer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just because I mean my mom used to love Friends, and so like I've watched it, and then I've watched it because some of the episodes are pretty good. But he plays such a goofy guy, and to have him come in and be like the real jerk and be like it's hard to, like, there was the dichotomy in my head that I had to get through. I apologize for that vibration. That was my phone that I should have had on silence. I am sorry.
Speaking of World War II settings and such, how about that movie Monument Men?
I am very excited for that. I have not seen it and probably will not see it until I go home at some point, because then my parents will pay for it in some way or another. But I'm really excited for that. It just looks really interesting. What's go over the plot that you know of?
So basically, it's as we're taking back Europe from Germany in World War II, we're rushing to save all of these historical and artistic artifacts that have fallen under German control before they can torch them as they retreat, essentially. And so this is focusing on a small squad of soldiers that's specifically trained in this field, or they're all experts in their field or whatever. And so you have, a squad with a bunch of random people and like John Goodman and
Matt Damon and Tom
The
Hanks.
whole thing is amazing. The cast is why I want to see it.
Exactly.
Just for the cast. Yeah.
There's actually on Reddit there was a Ask Reddit thread that was like, what are your favorite recurring jokes in TV shows? And there was a lot of really funny ones. Like we love the TV show Community, and someone brought up the whole "Shut up, Leonard," the line that comes up every once in a while. But then another thing someone brought up was the fact that Matt Damon, and Jimmy Kimmel has this joke that at the end of a lot of his episodes he says, "And I'm so sorry, Matt Damon, we ran out of time," even though like he never planned on having him on there. And it's just one of those things that like it's kind of funny. But then there was one time where he like, it was obviously planned out, but like he brought him on, like pretended like he was getting. He brought him what?
The Monuments.
No, he brought Matt Damon. Oh, sorry, Jimmy Kimmel brought Matt Damon onto the show. But then right when he sat down, he ended the show. And there was a whole like, he got really mad. Matt Damon. I like Matt Damon as an actor.
I thought you were talking about the Jimmy Kimball.
Kimball.
What did I say?
Jimmy Kimball.
Oh yes, Kimball, Mr. Kimball, Crimbus. The Monuments Men cast was there with Matt Damon.
Yes.
And they were going to get to him, but then the fire alarm went off.
Yeah.
They all left.
That's just the recurring joke in it. He finally, at least he was on there. He had some screen time, which go Matt Damon. Yeah. That's another series I really like. Though is the Bourne series.
Oh,
the music, like if we're talking about series, those like okay, so Lord of the Rings and the Bourne series, probably two of my favorite trilogies. We're not counting the stupid one that comes after the Bourne Supremacy and Bourne Ultimatum.
Yeah, the Bourne. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. But the music at the very end of the last Bourne movie is the Bourne Ultimatum. Is that the last one?
The third.
Yeah, the third rather. And it's just like he jumps in and he jumps into the water. You think he's dead. Spoiler, but we're past the statute of limitations on that. He jumps into the water. You think he's dead, and then it like cuts away, and they do like this whole story about how he brought down Treadstone and Blackbriar, which are these people that trained him to do all these like secret acts for the U.S. government. And then they say, and the body of Jason Bourne has yet to be found, or something along those lines. And it just plays that iconic music at the very end, and like it gets me jazzed. I don't know, music is so good. I like music.
Music is good.
Mm-hmm. You can quote that. I'm okay with that.
People like music.
People like music. Yes. Speaking of music, what have you been listening to recently, Travis?
My earbuds actually broke shortly after our episode last week, so I have been
The fourth wall. They don't know that we've been recording episodes already.
My earbuds actually broke about a week ago, so I have been listening to not much lately. I played a couple records the other day while I was doing homework in the kitchen by Grover Washington.
Ooh, nice.
It was
Junior.
pretty excellent.
Which style of music is that?
Inner City Blues.
Inner City Blues. Dubstep, okay.
Yes.
Dubstep records. I don't know how it would work out.
Grover Washington dropped it. Sorry.
Okay. What about you? What about you, Taylor?
I think I keep going back to the laytest National album. I try to get off of it, but I keep repeating it over and over on my phone. It's just so good. The what's it called? Trouble will Find Me or You. That's neat. I'm trying to. I listen to the music, not the titles. Yeah, I have a. I really like that album.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Let's see. Well, whenever I'm doing writing assignments for schoolwork, I always like to have music that does not have lyrics in the background. Yeah. And so my music of choice recently for writing has been the vibraphone stylings of Milt Jackson, a jazz vibes player, and 2 albums of his in particular, one with Wes Montgomery and another with Thelonious Monk. I don't remember what the second one's called, but yeah, that's been my jam recently.
Oh yeah, me.
Who also was the one who wrote the intro song to, or the title screen song on what's that game called?
Portal?
No, Battlefield Bad Company.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
All right.
The first one.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I actually found him.
Nice.
Embarrassingly enough.
It's not embarrassing. That was a good game.
Whatever. It was a good game.
Yeah. There's recently I've been listening to a band came out with a new album. Probably like June 2013, I think, or April, May or June 2013, called Phoenix. It's because normally I really enjoy listening to the music while driving. I don't know why, but like Phoenix is the perfect driving music. But they've slowly been making that transition into my like normal music routine.
Yeah.
And we were actually talking about this the other day because it snowed 2 days ago in Seattle?
Yes,
I believe 2 days ago. And Isaac and I were talking about how there's a lot of times where we have like our summer music, we have like our fall music, we have nighttime. At least I have nighttime music, or there's like rainy music. But then we're like, we don't really have snow music, and it just thought it was really interesting. And it was like, do you guys have any do you have songs that you think of for certain like seasons? Like, do you have or types of music that you think of for the summer?
I mean, I don't have any that are like specifically for the summer, but like I know that definitely like last quarter as it was moving into winter and like just the quarter was all bearing down. There were things that sorry. There's definitely a genres that I move more towards like when like things are bleaker, I guess.
Yeah.
Versus when things are all happy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if Otto Miller doesn't have any windows, does it really matter what the weather's like outside? Isn't it all just the same all year round?
Yeah, in Otto Miller, but then when I'm doing homework up in my room, I've got my window right looking out over Seattle.
And you remember the engineers get the nice outside of the building rooms, so they get the windows.
We do get some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there's a permanent screen on every window, and it just shows rain.
Yeah. The main room that I work in though does not have windows to the outside.
Well, see, the thing is, the problem with Seattle is it literally rains 100% of the days.
100%.
Yeah, I can't believe the rain. It's just I can hardly tolerate it. I want to move back to Wisconsin where I came from and never come to Seattle again.
Oh, it sucks.
It's so bad. Man.
Like, music though, I mean, hey, okay, chill. Thank you. Don't laugh. Don't laugh unless I want you to laugh.
Ooh.
But music is really cool. Yes, Taylor?
I have an interjection. It's not Milt Jackson who did that song. It's Milt Buckner.
Oh,
I feel better now.
Okay.
Same first name. No one has Milt as a first name.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Except for those two.
I'll name
Still
my
jazz.
first
Still
born
jazz.
Still
child
jazz?
He's
Milt.
an
Still
organ
Milt?
player.
Milk
Wait,
sitting.
You bet.
Milk. It sounds like milk chocolate.
Yeah,
to
I
me.
think milk.
That's the first.
But music, music can speak to you. It can really it can really move you in ways that not a lot of other things can, and they can really convey messages sometimes like through, real artistry, or also just sometimes through the words that is just very obvious. And I was actually I'm on the student union board for our school that we go to, and I'm on that team with my ex girlfriend, and we were in the office together like half a week ago, and I was sitting in there and I was just playing music, and I was just switching through songs randomly, like not putting any thought to it. And like we're at the point where like we can interact and we're just fine. There's no problem with us talking or working together. But I realized every single song that I was putting on was like a song about heartbreak, and how how someone like really misses someone, or like they're sorry that they broke up. And I realized that maybe like 5 songs into like just like switching around playing the music out loud. And I was like, I really hope she doesn't think I'm like sending a message right now. Like
Your subconscious was trying to.
Yeah. Maybe I'll find something out in like a month that I'm really really sad about that. But again, I was sad before. I don't want to sound terrible. But I felt bad because I didn't want. I hopefully she didn't pick up on that.
Going back to the seasonal music.
Yes.
I have my winter album, as I call it. I just remember this now. I listen to it every winter, but I just couldn't remember. It's the Johnny Crash. The Johnny Cash Christmas album, where he sings Christmas hymns, and there's a specific song I can't remember what it's called. It's just really really good, and I listen to it every single Christmas.
The thing is, with me, there's a couple types of music that just don't do it for me. One is like country music. I'm sorry, I just don't like country music.
I agree.
Yeah.
2, Christmas music. I don't know why. Like I don't mind when other people play it. Like I'm not one of those. I'm not a Grinch, But there's just nothing special about it for me. And it just within the first 2 days of Christmas season, it's overplayed and I'm done.
The first 2 days of Christmas season, meaning August 1st.
Yes.
And 2nd.
What's funny about that is I sort of feel the same way. It's like I like some Christmas music, but for the most part, I'm just kind of tired of it. But I've made other associations with music. You know how you can make strange connections to songs and stuff. So our freshman year at the winter tradition event, they had a band made of SPU alumni that they had come and play. This band called Hot Bodies in Motion.
Oh yeah.
And so now, because they played in early December, I now associate Hot Bodies in Motion, this kind of blues rock group, with wintertime or like Christmas time.
Yeah.
For me, in a weird way, that's like my Christmas music.
Huh.
And if I recall correctly, and also what I'm thinking now, in our conversation we were having, Isaac, I was saying something I love to do when it's snowing is go outside and just kind of lay down, because I find that it's so much quieter than it is normally, just because I feel like all the snow in the air really dampens the sound and it's not as loud, and I really enjoy like having that little bit of peace and quiet. And so for me, I don't really think I have like a Christmas. Well, I don't think I have like a winter or snow type music, and I think it's because I just really I like the silence that reminds me of.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The sound of it.
The sound of it.
We should tell our viewers, according to Micah,
Yeah.
about what we did when it was snowing.
Oh, yeah. I told some of my friends about this too. They thought it was hilarious today.
That's because it was brilliant.
Travis, would you like to?
Kyle knows the girl who was upset about the snowman.
We have to explain.
Question.
Travis,
Travis,
you tell the whole
story.
story.
Okay, so we decided after having a little snowball fight outside of our house once we got a couple of inches on the ground that we should move the fight to some friends of ours' house that's like 5 minutes away. But we show up to their house and they're not there, so the next step logically is to move the fight to campus.
Well, at this point, one of our housemates, Alex, decided to bail.
Oh my!
I just want to call him out for that.
Like he always does.
So this is the same housemate who will not join us on the podcast.
Unbelievable.
For some reasons.
Oh well. Stupid Alex.
Yeah. Stupid Alex. But anyways, we move on to campus, and what we don't find are people willing to engage in a snowball fight with us. What we do find, however, are the snowmen that these people...
Snow people. Come on.
Snow people, you're correct.
One of
Some
them was
of
a
them
woman.
were women that these people have created rather than engaging in stuff that's actually fun. So, having a snow shovel with us naturally, we took on the role of snowman executioners.
Wait. We didn't take on the role of snowman executioners. You took on the role of snowman executioner.
I might have done that.
We were just the ones cheering you on.
It was enjoyable. Yeah. So we moved around campus, and we would find a snowman, and we would gather around in a circle and chant. And I would make a big show of, beheading the thing, and it was great. And we did this outside of one particular dorm in front of all of their rooms. And one girl evidently got a little bit upset about her snowman being beheaded and posted on Facebook that she would hunt down whoever was responsible.
Ooh.
Now, I have a friend who lives in that same dorm, and I asked him to, if he knew the girl, point her in our direction so that she might get a clear view of our middle fingers. was the terminology that I used.
Yes.
And it turns out he did actually know the girl, and he showed her that text.
And what did she say?
Evidently, she thought it was really funny, so...
Because it was!
Wait.
It was freaking hilarious.
Now, after this, you have to ask if she's attractive and if she's available.
I asked neither of those things.
She thought you were funny, Travis.
Oh.
Do you realize how rare this is?
No.
Very.
She's really into snowman as executioner.
Yeah.
Snow people, dang it.
Putting that on my resume.
One of my favorite things isn't just that we would stand around and cheer and chant, that's the word, and it would be the variety of how you would do it. So one time you would go just like slice it with the shovel right at the neck. Other times you'd cleave it right down the middle. And then one of my favorite ones is there was a small one that maybe like went up to my knee, like 2 feet tall, and was really skinny. And we decided, Travis, you got to flatten this one. And so he just goes up, raises the shovel above his head, brings it down, and there's no more snowman.
No.
It just looks like there was snow. Because there was.
See, I was trained for that. The very first thing I did at this school was they sent me out. You remember City Quest?
Yeah.
At SPU, you show up as a freshman, like, hey, here's your dorm, that's great. And then the next morning, they send you out into the city doing work projects. And my work project was sledgehammering a bunch of rocks.
Nice.
Which
Rock
served
people.
as my training for sledgehammering a bunch of snowmen.
When I was defending our actions from a friend of mine who was convinced that what we did was, incredibly immoral or something.
Oh, yes, of course.
My proposed solution was that we've all converted to Eastern Orthodoxy, and we took the snowmen as idols.
Yes.
Because the traditional snowman, having 3 parts, obviously represents
The Trinity.
the Trinity.
Yes.
But yeah, speaking of sledgehammers, Travis, it reminds me, I'm playing this game on PS3, Hitman Absolution. I'm a little behind the times. I know it's an older game, but I'm playing through it. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and this is maybe on like the 4th level in. I'm walking around, and like you can pick up things like a bottle or a knife or like a syringe, and then there's one that I just pass over, and I usually ignore those a lot of times because those make noise, and you don't want to get seen or whatever. But it said pick up sledgehammer, and the second I saw that, I was like, I gotta try this. So I called Travis and Taylor into their room. And I was like, hey guys, you gotta see this. I don't even know what's gonna happen. And I go up to the nearest guy, knowing that it's gonna be hurt. I'm gonna get shot or something. And I just go up and I take it, wind it back, hit him right in the chest, and just like watching it happen, he flew back a little bit. I felt the ribs cracking like in my own chest. I felt so bad, but it was so cool.
Yes.
And then later on, I found a fire axe.
Oh,
and one of the first animation that I saw him do with the fire axe was similar, just like straight into the chest, which was grody and awesome. But the next one, it was just like Travis cleaving them in half. He just takes it above his head and gets them right in the skull. And I probably sound like a crazy person right now,
a little bit.
but it was just after going around and like strangling people. It doesn't make me sound like as crazy. After going around and dispatching people quietly,
vascular restraint.
Yeah, it was very nice to be able to just take him out in a hardcore way.
I couldn't handle when you took the fire axe and threw it over your head across the room and buried it in a guy's forehead.
Hey,
That was impressive.
I'm a trained assassin. That's
It's
all
like
I'm gonna say.
Mega Tomahawk.
They practiced that in Hitman school.
Isn't there a scene, I think it's House of Wax, where the murderer throws something, I can't remember what it is, right into Paris Hilton's forehead? It's like,
Wait,
my
like the
favorite
real
scene in
Paris
movies.
Hilton?
Yeah, she's an actress in that.
Okay, I don't know.
I think.
You
Yeah,
guys are
I'm pretty
referencing
bad
all
with
these things I
numbers,
do
so.
not know.
I don't know that one either.
House
I
of
don't
Wax
think
is
it-
brilliant. It's really creepy and weird, but there's a lot of comic value if you're in the right mindset.
Ah.
And it's like in the morning when the sun's out and you have a lot of people
Oh.
around. Let's watch that one next.
Okay. It's a little scary.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
One horror movie that I saw recently.
Horror movie?
Horror movie.
Okay,
Horror movie that I saw recently that I was actually very surprised at how much I liked
I
it.
was gonna say, is it more horror if it's horror? I've seen the horrorest movie.
Yeah, it was Pirates Plus 3, but it was.
It's your movie.
Tied into zombies anyway.
Erection.
I'm a little. I'm a little behind the times with this too, but I just a couple weeks ago saw for the first time Saw 1, and
Yeah.
like that movie was actually very well done. I was impressed with it because it's always like there's so many Saw movies and it kind of gets lumped in like with me with Final Destination in terms of like those crap movies that just get turned out. But the first Saw movie was actually like there was this twist at the end which I don't want to spoil for those of you that haven't seen it yet and want to.
Seen it.
Which completely caught me off guard and a quality movie. We gotta start making a list and start watching.
Yep.
Because we have a lot of movies and we can make those podcasts too. Movie watching podcast. It'd be so great.
Oh.
We broadcast the entire audio of the copyrighted movie over the.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of movies, my 21st birthday is coming up in a little under 2 weeks, and my mom was like, "So you want to do anything? Because your brother and
Not
I
with you,
could
Mom.
come into Seattle that weekend." I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go out with my friends on the Friday night, but then the Saturday night I could do some with you guys."
I can't go.
And the natural decision for what should we do was go see the Lego movie.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yes.
Oh,
No, okay.
yes.
We'll go to a bar and then go to the Lego movie.
I've
I
heard
am
so many good things.
really
about that.
excited for it.
There's
It looks
so
so phenomenal, and it's getting really good reviews.
Yeah,
like
I've-
all across the board.
Like from people our age.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's like a cameo in there that's entirely unexpected too. So look out for that.
I'm pumped.
Like, even before all the good reviews, just the idea of Will Arnett playing
Oh,
Batman,
yes.
that was enough to convince me to see it.
Yeah,
With
I
August,
love Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you go to the
yeah.
bar and then come pick us up, and then we go to the
That sounds safe.
I'll drive though. Please. Do you think your mom would pay for all of us to go see the Lego movie?
That might be a stretch, but she'd drive you.
I mean, I could take that.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I don't think I met your mom for more than like 2 seconds.
No,
Is she nice?
she's a nice lady.
Okay, cool.
Enough to drive you to the movie theater.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to, yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if it was the opening day, but the other day I was at work and kids started coming in like they were dressed for
Ugh.
Halloween. And I was like, what's this going on? And then I realized they were dressed up as like Lego characters.
Oh, wow.
Not necessarily like big blocks or anything, but like there's a Batman, there's a wizard, there's all these random costumes. And then I realized that the theater right down the street was showing the Lego movie. It's really cool.
Will Arnett is Batman. Good idea for the Lego movie. Would it be an even better idea for actual Batman?
If it was like a comedic movie, I would so watch it.
What do you guys think about what's his name? Ben Affleck being the new Batman for the Batman Superman stuff.
Combine it with the fact that it's supposed to be a Batman versus Superman thing, and I'm not thrilled.
Yeah.
I think it's silly.
That's the thing is there's a lot of people that like don't like Ben Affleck super much, but in my like experience, the thing that lasted me with his acting is Good Will Hunting, and I love that movie, and I think he's phenomenal in that movie, and he's kind of tough, and so that's like the most lasting impact that he's had on me in terms of acting. Whenever I think of him as Batman, I also think of Batman as having this really thick Boston accent, which I think would be hilarious. But I don't know. I'm excited. I think he could do a good job.
I would say I'm indifferent about it being Ben Affleck. it's more the Batman versus Superman thing that
I mean,
kind of has me turned off.
if any superhero is supposed to go against each other, it's supposed to be Batman and Iron Man because it's non-superpowers.
The rich boys.
Yeah, rich boys.
So Batman versus Superman turns you off. The real question is, what turns
me
you on?
Oh.
Go ahead.
Catwoman and just take the female.
Oh, Catwoman on the freaking Arkham game.
Oh.
That slide.
There's Arkham City.
Correct?
Yeah.
Batman Arkham City. We have that game for PS3 and we're playing it. And there's some levels we get to play as Catwoman. And if you do this sprint and then slide, it's this great view where she slides and she goes on her knees and like falls backwards and slides, and the camera's looking right at some
All the cleavage.
yes, all the cleavage.
I was gonna say the top of her head, you know.
Yeah, that's also in the shot, but Travis doesn't really pay attention to that.
No.
He's, as we say, shallow.
Oh.
Yeah, not very concerned about what's
Sad.
going on in the head.
Well, depends which head.
Yes, she. Yeah. Anyway.
Travis thought it was funny. Okay, so I think that's about time to wrap up. You guys have anything else you want to talk about before we're done? No? Okay.
I think we're good.
I would just want to relive my childhood at the Lego Movie now.
Yeah.
So we gotta get some movies that we're gonna watch together and watch the Lego Movie, and we can talk about those all the time. Well, thanks for listening to the first episode of Airship Archaeology. I hope you have a wonderful night, and from all of us here, Sam, Isaac,